Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. In this one, we want to follow up on our video from last week on breast implant safety and talk about the judgment and the shame around not just breast implants, but really
cosmetic treatments.
All cosmetic treatments, which includes things like body contouring procedures, Botox,
filler, rhinoplasty,
veneers, basically anything that people use.
Microneedling, vampire facials.
Yeah, anything.
Even creams, like, geez.
Yeah, right. Creams might actually be a good example for why judgment doesn't make sense. But for a cosmetic procedure, there's a lot of judgment and shame around these because, and we want to talk about that because there's this like overwhelming idea that being natural is, for whatever reason, superior, and that women who get breast implants, who get Botox, who get filler, have insecurities and they aren't comfortable in their own skin, and they need to work on their own mentality rather than getting
their mental
these
health.
things done.
It's shame thrown at them for their mental health state. It's insinuating that they don't have robust mental health if they get anything done.
And that they have low self-esteem, right? And that's why they get it done.
Which they can't be paired. Like, low self-esteem you can't look at someone with breast implants and say, oh, she had low self-esteem.
Yeah.
Like that, they don't pair together.
Yep.
Someone could have had high self-esteem and just like the aesthetic looks.
Yeah, 100%.
Of breast implants, kind of like tattoos.
But why let's talk about the judgment aspect first. So these judgments are rampant. You can find them anywhere and they make zero sense. Here's why. Because what is the difference at one level? First of all, what is the difference between getting cosmetic procedures done that amplify your image and simply taking photos at certain angles or using filters on your photos and then posting those? Like,
there's no difference.
In both cases, someone is attempting to change the way they look, right?
And become more appealing to the opposite sex.
So, and that's one of the ironies is that almost everyone I think that I've seen that throws out these attempts at shame about something like Botox, filler, breast implant, whatever, are the same people where it's like their photos like up here, like, oh, look how thin I am.
Or they have an avatar.
Yeah, or they have an avatar and no photo at all. Like, talk about an insecurity, right? Or, they have a filter on their photo. And it's like, why are you doing that when you're coming at other women saying
that they're insecure?
You're insecure and you should just feel comfortable in your own body. Because obviously you don't, or else you wouldn't need an angle or a filter, or you would be able to put a profile picture.
Well, that's what our projections are. They're mirrors into our own issues.
But here's the next level here's the next level, and this next level is going to be filled with reductio arguments that show just how stupid this judgment is. Why do you exercise to maintain a good body? Why do you brush your teeth to maintain good health? Why do you cut your hair and style your hair to maintain a certain image?
Why do you buy certain clothes?
Why do you buy certain clothes? Why do you eat a certain diet? Oh, for my health. And it's like, okay.
Why do you read it could go on and on. Why do you read certain books?
We could go above and beyond physical things and say, why do you read certain books? Why do you go to school?
Yeah. Why do you work a certain career? It goes on and on and on. We do it to obtain status and merit.
Yes.
In society.
Exactly. There's a
social hierarchy that we're all engaging in, whether we like it or not.
Yeah.
And if you want to opt out, you can.
There's no difference between taking a shower and getting breast implants. In both cases, it's done to change your physical appearance to make you feel more appealing. Whether or not you actually are more appealing depends, right? It depends on who is doing the assessment. But I say feel because that means you're the one doing the assessment. Most women don't get breast implants because they have an insecurity or something. They get them because they just don't like the way that their boobs are and they want to make them better to themselves.
Yeah.
It's the same exact reason most people actually work out. They want a body they like more. Same reason people eat certain foods. You know, they want the body and the health they like more. It's why they go to school. They want the mind they like more. It's why they
I know most women can relate to this. When men too. Like when you put a certain outfit on, you walk differently.
Yep.
You carry yourself differently. Your feelings that when you put that outfit on are what give your vibe off. Your energy into your life.
Yep. 100%. So this judgment makes no sense because there's no difference, again, between cosmetic procedures and doing anything else in your life that modifies you away from being just a basic, primate. And there's no difference, at an even higher level between doing any cosmetic procedure and taking photos at an angle, smiling in your photos, using any form of a filter. Everything's done to alter how you appear. They're all the same.
So attempting to shame another person for getting a cosmetic enhancement is silly.
It's usually just a window into their own world. It's a projection. If someone is shaming another about breast implants, it's probably because they are unhappy themselves with their tits.
And so something has to be wrong with the woman that went and got them.
Yeah, exactly.
For the ego to feel like it's on a higher pecking order.
Yeah, for their ego to feel good, like, hey, I'm better than you, they justify it by saying, well,
she's insecure.
You're insecure, you have poor mental health, or even did you have a medical indication? Did you have breast cancer and need your tits cut off? Right? They need some form of explanation other than just, I wanted a fresh pair of boobs that look better. Because that's what they want, but they can't admit it to themselves because they feel shame around it for whatever reason.
Yeah, the reasons are
And most
infinite.
people, and a lot of people will feel shame on these types of topics, but they won't actually be able to tell you why they feel shame. And as we just determined, there's really no good logical reason for that shame to exist. It's just most of them haven't analyzed their own beliefs. They just feel a certain way, and that's that, right?
Yeah, most people don't ever dig deep.
Yeah, most people don't ever dig deep, exactly. Which, digging deep, actually, that's an excellent transition into what we wanted to mention about shame. So we talked about how it's a projection, but you can never be shamed by someone else.
That's going to be a radical concept for someone else.
Yeah.
Most
it
people
really is.
don't really understand that. They're like, you're shaming me. You're fat shaming. You're fit shaming.
Yeah.
There's all these shamings now.
And it's like, no, I mean, other people can 100% be dicks and be condescending and be rude, but they can't shame you because shame is an entirely internal event. If someone says something...
It has to hit on an insecurity.
Exactly. If someone says something and you take offense to it, it's because you have an insecurity around it.
Yeah, so when I get, when I feel that internal shame, it's very rare for me. But when I do feel shame, which I do around a couple topics, I ask myself, I'm like, why do I feel like they are shaming me right now? What insecurity is that hitting on inside me? That once you uncover all these insecurities that you have too, and you stop putting the blame on other people shaming you, and you find your insecurities and work on those, you become unstoppable. Nothing fucking bothers you.
Yep. 100%.
Nothing anyone on the internet says, you don't sit there and stew about it. No, your mother-in-law or whatever, you have internal work to do. If you feel shame.
Yeah, if you feel shame or if you feel offended, that's a you issue. That's not an issue with the person that you claim did that to you. Because you did it to yourself. You have some beliefs that you should probably dig into yourself and identify. And those are ultimately what's causing, you to feel the way that you do. And off the top of my head, I can't think of any really good examples of something that I think most people wouldn't feel shame about as like an example of something where most people are comfortable in their own skin around it? Can you think of any examples? I know I'm putting you on the spot. Yeah, I can't think of any either right now, but like I'm sure everyone listening has been insulted about something at some point.
I think weight is a big one for most people. Even too thin, too fat, like.
Yeah.
I think most people have felt shame about that.
Yeah, I think most people have felt shame about weight, and you have to ask yourself why, right? And this gets back to like being comfortable in your own body, or, you know, if you feel shame, then work to change it. And you see transformation stories all the time about people who were like, I hated myself, I hated my body, blah, blah, blah. And then they work to change it, and now they're super happy with themselves. Like, that's great. And if, you know, you are happy with where you're at, no matter where that is, then awesome. But don't try and shame other people.
That you believe are carrying your shame.
Yeah. Like, if you're trying to shame other people, that's a you issue. Like, that's you projecting.
Well, that's such a weird thing to do anyways. Like, I'm going to shame someone with what I am insecure about. Like, you're assuming they're insecure about the same thing.
Well, that's
like, I think that's
people
so
don't
funny.
know that. That's because people don't know that. People don't know that when they throw out insults, it's stuff that most of the time, not always, but most of the time, it's the same stuff that they would get offended about. Like, that one guy I had to post maybe a week ago where I was in a discussion with somebody and they just couldn't answer any of the questions I posted, and they ended up like giving a 1-sentence response to me that said something, but part of it was like you dumb liberal, and the person I was conversing with was obviously a very religious conservative, and I'm like, of course that's just what you would say, because
that's the most insulting thing, like, in your world.
Yeah, like
to be a dumb liberal.
Like, I'm not liberal in that sense at all, and that's obvious from looking at my feed. I don't associate with any political ideology, but it's just funny to watch people throw those things around.
We insult people with what we would be insulted with.
Yeah.
So I sit back and I watch when I'm like, oh, that must be a really, really weak spot for you.
Yep. It's funny once you
You're giving me too much information insulting me.
Yeah. But yeah, again, like, why, like, if I was actually liberal, sticking with this example, and was insecure about that, then I would feel shame and I would be upset that they called me out on it, right? But I mean, I have no association with that term at all, so the fact that they called it to me, I just found amusing. There was no shame, even though they were obviously attempting to shame me. It had no effect on me at all, because I carry no shame with something like that. I have no association with it. In the same way, if someone like came up to me super mad and called me fat, it would just be like, okay, like I have no insecurities around my body composition, in that sense. So yeah, this was a 1-2 punch kind of thing that we just want to talk about, because it's super relevant when it comes to breast implants and cosmetic procedures altogether. People judge, but those judgments have no logical basis. And then people attempt to shame, but the attempted shame is a projection, and any shame you feel is just a sign that you need to dig deeper into yourself.
On one of your insecurities.
Yep, and figure out what your insecurities are. So hopefully you found this video helpful. If you did, please like it and share it around. And of course, if you haven't already, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Bye everyone, thank you.